Want to scare a Democrat? Just tell them how Kamala won't be going away quietly. Despite a Dukakis-level faceplant as the nominee, the Veep is telling backers that she's doubling down on politics. She's eyeing a 2026 California gubernatorial run or a 2028 presidential bid. And it looks like she's got the big guy's blessing. Watch.
That's the road ahead. To never give up, to keep the faith, to know that what we're doing matters. I know I'm going to stay engaged. I know Kamala and Jill and Doug are going to do well as well. And I know you will. We need you badly. The country needs you badly. And you're not going anywhere, kid, because we're not going to let you go.
The Veep, who somehow managed to burn through a mind-boggling $1.5 billion in just 15 weeks, is now giving Democrats pep talks on how they will not be defeated.
Our spirit is not defeated. We are not defeated. Let's be clear about that. We are strong. We are clear about why we are in this. You're willing to put in the hard work, and that work must continue.
So now I see the framing between the Trump shot and this shot.
Right.
It just
and
kind
the whole
of
tone
takes your breath
and
away.
the atmosphere. And that's but Trump was holding a press conference, pulled together. I don't know if it was last minute, sort of felt like it was put together quickly, maybe because the SoftBank guy was there. And he's able to take all those questions, and they do it. I mean, this is the annual Christmas party. This is the annual holiday party at the DNC. And that was the tone and flavor of it. So the split screen, again, like a tale of two cities, indeed. Kamala Harris is going to be in the conversation for who will lead the Democratic Party until either someone seizes the mantle or she shuts the door on the opportunity. She basically took to her bed for the last 6 weeks since the election. She is not somebody who, well, actually in China, they have a thing called lying flat, which is basically like quiet quitting, where you just give up. He's like, there's no job here for me. I was promised if I went to college and I did these things in China, I was going to get these job opportunities and have this life, and it's not happening, so I'm not doing it anymore. Quiet quitting is a gentler way of doing that. But we talk about that a little bit in America. I feel like that's what she's been doing. Then she goes there and says, you're not defeated. Oh, you are completely defeated. And it's not getting better. I keep wanting somebody on the Democratic Party to stand up. I did talk to Ben Wickler. He is from Madison, Wisconsin, actually. A Democrat. He's well-liked in the progressive circles. They say he's done a pretty good job. Tammy Baldwin did keep that Senate seat there, and he's stepping up. But I don't see him as somebody that's like, he might run the DNC, but he's not going to be the candidate.
Janine, how much pressure do you think she's under to be forced into taking this job as California governor? I mean, no one wants her in 2028. I mean, they'll might just hand that thing over to her.
Well, I think it's really a question of who wants to be governor in California. It's not, look, she's not entitled to a consolation prize. She couldn't even win the youth vote. She poorly performed with the black vote. The reason she lost is because she didn't run on anything and couldn't run on anything she did. That election loss was a blowout. It was a blowout. They lost every swing state. And now she's going out lecturing on what they call the future broader focus. She can't even focus on the minimal focus. I mean, the woman is, if the Democrats know what's good for them, they got rid of this woman, because she is a reminder of the lying and the charades that went on during the Biden administration. They told us the border was secure. They told us that, inflation was not what it was. And they told us all of this crazy stuff that Afghanistan was a success. These are not people that you need to roll out again. And in the end, she covered for a president who was literally non-compos mentis. She needs to pay a price for that. And you don't do it by giving her a consulate. I guarantee you there's some state senator or assembly person who wants to be the governor who should be given a shot at that. And by the way, what's she going to run on? What the hell did she do for 4 years as vice president with all the human trafficking, all the fentanyl, 320,000 kids missing? She should be embarrassed to show her face in public.
Okay, so she'll just go hide in Hawaii for the rest of her career. Got it. What do you see in her future?
So I understand. I agree she doesn't deserve a consolation prize, but I understand how she might feel like she does. Emotionally, this is probably very difficult to go from where she was to where she is now. And she might be thinking, okay, I can't be the president, but maybe I can be the governor of California, because you don't want to feel like it was all for nothing and it's all gone. It's the same reason. It's kind of like when people, they try to be friends with their exes, right? Where you're like, okay, you know what? I know he's seeing someone else, but why can't I text him happy birthday and say that he's having a good day, right? You don't want to feel like it was all for nothing. But of course, in both cases, it's very clear that it's better to just move on, move forward to something that's right for you. Because clearly, she couldn't have had more help from the media. They created her. I mean, remember when she was on the cover of the Time magazine without even doing an interview? I mean, it could not have been easier, and she totally blew it anyway. Clearly, this isn't her thing, but she needs to accept that in order to move forward. But I understand how it might be hard to be. I mean, she was the darling of everyone in Hollywood, everyone in music, everyone in media, and then it's all gone. That's got to be really hard to accept, even though you have to accept it. Yeah.
Is there anything besides politics that she could do?
Yeah,
That's
like
a
Al
serious
Gore.
question. What else besides politics could she maybe do?
It's the Al Gore model, sorry. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know this. I'm not as passionate about it as the. Well, I am about some things, but the voters will make this determination. If she seeks to run for office in California, I think Kat is right. She's trying to figure out, what do I do? I ran for a couple of months. I think she could have done a much better job. If I were her, I'd step back for a little while and try to figure out what I did right, what I did wrong, and even more fundamentally, why am I in the business of politics? If you're in the business of politics just to give speeches like that and to say we're fighting or we're this, when you fight in politics, you fight for a reason, you fight for a purpose, and you got to step back sometimes and have a little introspection about what did I do right? Why do I want to do it? It's not just her, but anytime you lose in a race like this, and the voters will help her sort it out. They'll either want her in California or want her nationally, or they will not want her. President Trump, again, did something that a Republican has not done in a very, very long time. He got working class Americans to believe that he was best fit and had the best ideas and best vision to take the country forward. And you have to accept that when you run in a political contest, that you could lose. You have to step back and understand why. That's why. There was nothing more complicated than that. We were wrong on issues. We didn't connect with voters on the most important issues. So every Democrat has to step back a bit and try to figure out, how do we make sure next go round that we're competitive, that we're in the center, and that voters are listening to us again? If we don't do that, we have no chance of winning. Now, I root for President Trump because he won on many of the ideas that I thought we should have been campaigning on. That's something we should learn from him. He's going to have to deliver on a lot of those things. And if he doesn't, just like every other political calculation, people will want someone different. But until then, until you step back and try to understand what happened, I don't care where you run, you're not going to be successful because you don't know why you're running. And that's not just for Kamala Harris. That's for every Democrat to analyze over the next several months.
Well said, Harold Ford Jr.
Yes, Harold,
Really
that
well
was
said. I'm
excellent.
just so impressed
I
by
read
you on this
I
Monday.
read that thing you put in the prompter.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We never thought that worked before. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.